I'm going to ask, in Kona, do we have Kohlhauer Bondera and Melanie Bondera?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Ford.
Thank you. Melanie Bondera is the director of the USDA Rural Cooperative Center in Hawaii, specializing in organics and papaya. Ms. Bondera, would you state your name for the record? And then...
Melanie Bondera, and I'm an organic farmer, and I'm a founder and past vice president of Hawaii Island Genetic Engineering Action Network, founder and past president of GMO Free Hawaii, which is now Hawaii Seed, and I have a master's from UC Davis in agriculture.
Thank you. Ms. Bondera, I wanted you to specifically address the specialty organics and the papayas and using non-GMO. And then once you make your opening statement, then I will release the floor to anyone else who would like to ask you questions.
I'm just going to open by saying that the concern that was brought up earlier this morning about allowing the papaya industry to continue with experimental testing on our island. There is a GMO papaya out there. It's been done in the lab for gas ripening. So it's been genetically modified to stay green until you stick it into a room and gas it with ethylene gas. It's been field tested in Malaysia, and it's got some of Dr. Gonzalez's patents on it. And if we were to field test it on this island and that gene got out, it could be that our other papayas would not ripen. So keep in mind that there are these papayas out there already, and or whatever else anyone dreams up, that we don't want field tested on our island. As far as my opening remarks go, I just want to repeat that this is essentially a failed technology that we're looking at. It's been rejected in 13 other countries for a whole variety of reasons, and I'm not in opposition to leaving the papaya industry alone, because I think the market will slowly get rid of the rainbow papaya, and then we'll just have contamination to clean up, because it does not make enough money for a papaya farmer to keep going. And the ones that are making it work for them, I don't want to put any other family farmers out of business. I do want to say that it's a very early transformation. It happened in the 1980s, when we've learned so much more about genetics since then. We used to think it was one gene, one trait. It's certainly not. It's multiple genes that create a trait. When you mess with one, you're messing with a bunch of different pathways. When this gene cassette we've all been talking about this morning went into the GMO papaya in that one event that's in every papaya we have on this island that's either intentionally transgenic or is contaminated, it fragmented. It went all over the place. And it was not for 5 years after they deregulated it and it was commercially grown, and Dr. Gonzalez was able to map the genome of the papaya, that they realized it had fragmented, and parts of it are in different places, and they said, oh, it doesn't matter, junk DNA. But really, what the Human Genome Project discovered is there's no such thing as junk DNA. There may be DNA that's sitting around quietly for now, but it has a purpose, and you can't just shatter a genome by throwing it in there. So I think we're going to find a very long future of discovering the problems with this product. As far as health concerns that people haven't mentioned yet, in 2002, two Dutch researchers discovered there's a known human allergen in our rainbow papaya, and no one has followed that up with further testing. It's got the CMV, the cauliflower mosaic virus, in it as a promoter, and that's meant to turn the gene on, and that's where the gene 6 comes in that people are now concerned about as a recent discovery. The promoter turns genes on permanently, and that can include good genes and bad genes, and if it fragments, who knows what genes it's turning on. In our multiple generations, our GMO papayas intermixing with our wild papayas and our other conventional papayas, we don't know where that CMB is going to land. It's got 3 antibiotic resistance markers in it, and the last thing we need is more antibiotic resistance. Certainly, antibiotic resistance can move in the human gut over to our own cells. And the most scary thing to me is the GUS gene in there that was just meant as a fluorescent marker. It's what turns it blue when you do field testing with beta-glucuronidase, has to do with immune balancing. And if you don't have the right amount in your system, it can depress your immune system or block uptakes of medications. And so these are the kinds of things that we're playing with this papaya that only we eat and grow on this island. All these other countries have said this is not safe. And we're not going to find out for a very long time what these health results are because we are not following it and tracking it through our public health.
Okay, thank you.
I want to yield to others who might want to ask questions.
Any questions? Councilmember Willie?
Yeah, Melanie, in terms of these new tests, I mean, the issue that's come up, should we allow papaya to continue testing? Are you aware, is what you were talking about, what's on the horizon? Are you familiar with what are the new, I mean, there seems to be a lot of concern that we should allow the papaya farmers to continue outdoor testing even before we discuss this in an ad hoc committee, that it's like critical to the industry. Are you familiar with any of these?
I'm not familiar with new projects in the labs. I know a lot of the past ones have failed, including we have multiple ring spot viruses in our growing environment, and our rainbow papaya is only resistant to one of them. In the Philippines, the field trial actually died of a separate ring spot virus strain. Dr. Gonzalez spent many years trying to create one that was resistant to multiple viruses, and he never was able to. So already done in the lab are these gas ripening papayas, and like I said, Malaysia had a field trial, but I am not aware of current research in the lab that people are dying to put in the field. It could be happening.
Okay, I have no other.
Any other questions? Seeing none, and everybody is. I'm gonna call a. I don't know where everybody is. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. There we go. Mr. Bondera, Councilmember Ford.
Thank you.